Hey everybody, how's it going? Octopus here, and welcome back to the Metal Spotlight. I'm gonna do this a little bit different. I'm not gonna go over going over the traits because I already did that. My Vexen B does have an extra attack, 40% power. And before we do continue the video, yes, my hair's crazy. I'm sorry, just one of those days. But let's talk about Vexen B. Vexen B is a gem that nobody's realizing how good he actually is. Now, there's another two medals that just came out, the Cinderella medals. Those are actually really good as well, but I'll go over them in another video. For now, let's talk about Vexen B and how he's so important in raids. Lux farming, especially now and next week, starting Monday, we're going to be Lux farming like crazy. So any strategies that can help you Lux farm faster is going to help greatly, but he's going to be more of a shining in multiplayer. So Vexen B is basically a shield. Hence the big ass shield right in front of him, guys. He is a shield. When it comes to multiplayer, you want to think about it this way. You have a bunch of attackers, and then you're going to have a bunch of defenders. So as a new player, I really recommend that you guys, if you can't do damage and you're always dying after your turn, and you're being revived by your teammates, I recommend bringing Vexen B in, multiple copies, or any medal that says raises defense. Like the Cinderella medals, those are really good. Same thing with Cinderella and Jack, really good. So what you do is you bring in Vexen B and you buff your defense as much as possible and you try to survive, but use every other attack to revive your friends. Don't actually attack the enemy because you're not doing enough damage or you're always dying. Save your attacks to actually revive players. Reviving players is going to help you pass a lot faster, especially if you're not doing any damage. And that's where Vexen B comes in play. First, let's test out Vexen B in this week's or weekend's raid boss. So this is the raid boss we're farming now. It is the Egg Master. Egg Master is a speed type, so I made a little bit of a setup here. It's not a perfect Lux ranking setup. I don't know what I want to use my attack boost and Lux Plus medals on yet on my free-to-play account. Again, I don't really farm on this account because I have two accounts and it's really hard to Lux farm on two accounts. You guys already see how hard it is on one. Imagine trying to do that on two. So I don't really Lux farm on this one as much, but I decided for this video I am going to, I don't have to pop this up, but you guys can see I'm level 257. So I decided I might as well gain some levels while helping you guys out. So Vexen B, what do you guys want to roll for this guy is basically 800 HP, 2000 defense, or extra attack, because this is a medal that screams extra attack. It buffs your defense by 1 tier for 4 turns. So over 4 turns you can activate this medal and you're going to have a 4 buff. But if you have extra attack in 3 turns, you're going to have 6. A 6 defense. You're 1 turn away from having 7, which is perfect. So extra attack is the absolute best one you can get on this guy, just because he does have a buff, and that buff is really good. Now it's only towards magic based defense and speed, so if you're facing power enemies it's not going to really help you, I believe. Let me just read. Raises speed and magic based defense, so it's really good for this guy and any boss you hit in multiplayer later on that's going to be speed or magic. So extra attack is the first one I would recommend. Then I would say HP. Now the reason I chose HP over defense is because I believe there is a soft cap. I might be totally wrong on this, but in every other game there's a soft cap on defense. And just a little bit of research, I can probably find that out, but I prefer stacking HP. Now when you get hit by a boss, my tablet's not dying, I swear. When you get hit by a boss, you see that you take about 9,000 damage sometimes. And right now at the moment we have HP of, well, my character is not fully leveled. It has HP of 5,490. Now let's say Vexen B buffs you up to max 7 tiers of buffs. You're going to get 7-tier defense shield on you. Now you add that with about 6,000 to 7,000 HP. I'm pretty sure you can survive an attack without a defense boost. But we're going to test that out in this little run here. If that doesn't work out, then I'll do a little research and I'll see the difference between defense and HP. But I put I put Dales on all my medals, and you guys can see the setup I'm going to use for this has 41,000 defense. Now, I haven't looked into the math of defense. I don't know how it works, but 41,000 defense sounds pretty good. So with this setup, I got defense boost 2 on Vexen B, which is newly put on him, and second chance on Kyrie. So 1, I can survive off second chance if anything goes wrong, and 2, defense boost 2 plus all these buffs should be really, really, really good. So let's go in and see how important Vexen B is. Alright, so this is the last one. Attack boost 3 would be nice. No attack boost 3, but we still do so much damage. And then this is the last two of Vexen B right here. This is number 5 and then number 6. So we're one away from perfect defense off attributes, not general defense. Okay. Hopefully this works. Hopefully I'm right. Look at that. Attack boost 3 went off. 34,000, 340,000 damage off a friend medal. Insane. We took 7,306 damage without a defense boost. So 7,300 damage. Now, like I was saying before, we have 5,490 HP. I'm not at max level yet, so my HP is going to be increased from here. I believe it's like 6,000 or something like that. Let me look at my main account, because my main account is fully maxed out. 5,970 HP, and I don't have any 800 HPs on here. This is all straightforward, good to go. That is basically the max you're going to get with completing all the avatar boards. So if we take that consideration, 5,950 or 70, adding the 1,600, so we're looking at 7,500 HP, and we just took a hit of that amount of HP. So that's why I recommend keeping HP over defense, because once you start using medals like Vexen B, having that extra HP plus 800 and another one, let's say my HD Beast was not so powerful and better with other traits, but let's say I was using a buff medal. Like, let's say Kairi, you guys rolled 800 HP on her. Now with that 800 and the 800 off this, we can survive that attack, because that attack only did like 74 something, and we have 7,500 HP. So we didn't need all that defense. So that's what I think, that HP is better than defense, because after so many defense buffs, we can survive. Now, let's say in the case that we don't have defense buffs and we have to rely on defense, getting an extra 2,000 defense, I don't believe is going to be as important as that 800 HP, because the amount that increases from the defense is not going to equal that much of HP. So let's say we increase 2,000 defense, but that saves us only like 400 HP off that attack, if we look at it that way. Okay, so I did as much research as I could, and I talked to a couple people about this, but in my opinion, when you get to farther endgame and your defense is already pretty nice, like over 40,000 or close to 40,000, I think stacking HP is overall better, because my example I just showed you, after I buffed myself a bunch of time with Vexen, I had an attack that hit me for 7,500. Now I can do that one more time, and we're gonna go into it, actually do it one more time. Now without defense boost triggering, I survived that attack. And I'm only recommending HP because, one, this is probably not 100% accurate. Okay, this is just me testing and playing around, and I feel like at the point of once you hit like after a certain level and have a good amount of medals that have defense boosts on them, etc., HP stacks better, or at least that's what I feel. I feel that HP seems to be a lot better. Now I could be totally wrong. It depends what level an enemy you're facing, how much of an attack they have versus your defense. Eventually HP is not going to be good, but with medals like Vexen B, that kind of changes that. So adding just one defensive medal to your Keyblade setup changes all that. HP seems to be better once you have a medal that raises your defense. Now Vexen B raises your attribute defense. What if we have a medal that raises your general defense, like Christmas Sora's, Nick and Judy? They raise your general defense. So if we have a bunch of good defense, like we have 45,000 plus because we got a bunch of traits and so on and so on, let's just say we have over that much, and we have Nick and Judy, Christmas Sora's, or medal that says ×3 general defense up. If that happens, will stacking defense be better in that case? Once we get medals that say raise your general defense by 2 tiers, 3 tiers, so on and so on, then I would think, yeah, I would definitely think that stacking defense would be better in that case if you're doing defense stacking. But if we're doing attribute defense stacking, then I think that HP would be better for that Keyblade setup. Now again, this is just me going through theories. I'm not saying this is 100%, but this is why I like my videos, because a lot of people comment on the comment section, and whatever you guys think, put it down there. have like a little theory down there trying to figure out everything. Or if someone knows exact math, let me know, because I had a hard time finding it for some reason. Again, I didn't really try. I did try, but at the same time, I didn't find much. So I could be looking in the wrong places, but that's why make a video, talk about it, and then see what people say in the comment section. So if you're watching this video, this is not the end all answer, but hold on. 7405. Second chance. Actually, second chance. Ha! Second chance. Let's see what a Foley 7 buff does. But yeah, well, that's the whole point of the comment section, guys. Whatever I say, you guys can compete against and try to figure out a better answer. So let's see here. Again, if defense boost activates, HP dominates, I think. HP over defense dominates because of defense boost 1, 2, or 3. Doesn't matter which one you get. The damage reduction on that, plus the defense you have, and then all that extra HP, I think you guys should be set. But that's just my theory. So 2 runs with this guy, and I took away half his HP with really all the free event medals. But 6,600 if I have a ×7 attribute buff with no defense. 6,600. So I think stacking HP is totally fine, because I think, anyways, I'm gonna stack HP. I rather stack HP than stacking defense. Now the combination of both is probably gonna be really good as well, but I feel like there's a soft cap, or the increase of defense does not equal a big chunk of HP. That's just how I've seen it in the games. I'm not sure the math on this again, but just testing it off this raid boss, you can see that he's doing, after all those buffs with Vexen B, he is doing only 7,500. And if I have 2 + 800 HP traits on my Keyblade, I'll survive that. I'll survive that no problem. And if I only have 1 800 HP defense on my Keyblade, I'll survive if I have a ×7 Vexen B buff. Alright, so just to wrap it all up, I think that Vexen B with defense boost 2, an extra attack is really good. If you don't have extra attack plus 800 HP, and if you don't get 800 HP plus 2,000 defense. That is my most recommendations for this medal. If you're lacking in power medals and you don't have anything, but you somehow guilted him as a person who doesn't have good, strong medals somehow, if you got to guilt this guy, go ahead, guilt him, throw some chips on there. He does do good power because he's going to let you survive and actually do some damage as a guilted medal. But just add enough of surviving in the actual raid fights or multiplayer, having him guilted at extra attack is going to be better than putting pure power on him, like an extra 1,000 strength, or ground -60%, or air -60%. I think having this extra attack is the best thing possible, and then HP. Even if he's fully guilted and all that, I still think that's better, because like you guys see, raid bosses, you're not going to survive a hit unless you have the proper defense boost. And multiplayer raid boss, you can probably survive that 1-hit KO if you have enough HP. A defense boost goes off. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only way. There's probably other ways, but this is just an insight of how good Vexen B is as alone. If you haven't fully guilted, you're going to be doing damage while surviving multiple turns in multiplayer, and we don't know how hard multiplayer is going to get later on. Not saying it's the greatest thing at the moment. It is kind of like a chore, but there could be some really cool things with it. So this spotlight was a little bit different. I'm not going to show you Keyblade setups, because basically just throw him anywhere on a Keyblade for his buff. If you're using this, take away that Sephiroth, add him there. Yeah, you lose your tribute buff, but guys, you're going to survive multiple turns. If you're having trouble surviving, Vexen B. If you want to survive multiple turns on your Lux farming guy, Vexen B. Simple as that. Just whatever you need as a defensive medal, put it there, and it's going to help. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, it's just me playing around with the game. This is not 100%. This is not going to be the end-all answer. It's just what I'm messing around with and what I think I'm going to like instead. I do believe 800 HP should be better than defense at certain situations. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.